Hi, welcome to G-Spot. I've had a few requests recently, especially since I got the D7000, just asking, you know, what's the differences, is one better than the other, blah blah blah. So I thought I'd do a quick review of the Nikon D7000 versus the D5100. Now, the reason this is quite a close fought battle is because they both contain the same 16 megapixel sensor. Now this is a Sony sensor. Sony make all the top Nikon sensors. Nikon fiddle with them a little bit, but essentially Sony sensors in both the same. So a quick look at the cameras tells you that the D7000 is obviously bigger, it's heavier. It's weather sealed, it's got a magnesium alloy body, I think about 80% of it is. When you look around the back, the main difference being the D5100 has got an articulated screen. The other main difference is that the majority of functions are changeable on the D7000 through dials, command dials, switches, whereas on the D5100 more of it is controlled using the LCD screen. So image performance is pretty much on par. I have found that the metering is slightly better on the D7000, and also the autofocus is better, 39 points as opposed to 11 points. And it's more user definable, so that's better. The main things that I wanted the D7000 for were, I mean, some might say silly little things, but for instance, if you've seen one of my previous videos, when you're in single point autofocus and you're shooting, if you knock the little rocker switch, it moves your focusing point across without you realising, and there's no lock on that. On the D7000, once you've set your focusing point, if you want it on centre point, there's a little lock switch there, so that if you do knock the D-pad, it doesn't move your focusing point. So that's quite an important thing. Speed-wise, 4 frames per second, 6 frames per second. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that is quite a big difference. It's, you know, generally a bit quicker, which is nice. That wasn't a deal breaker for me, however. The number one thing that bugged me and that I really wanted, and that the D7000 gives you, is 100% viewfinder display, which is really nice. So when you're looking through the viewfinder, what you see is what you get, and it's a lovely bright viewfinder. In the D5100, nothing wrong with it. It's just you're getting, you know, a slightly offset image, 96% or 95%, whatever it is. So there's that. Now, obviously you've got the dual card slots on the D7000, single card slot on the D5100. No big deal. Particularly, it is nice to have the second card as a backup, or you can have. I have it as a backup plus movies, so when I film movies they go to the second card, and it's also a backup if I run out on my first card. So that's nice to have. As I mentioned, all your functions are controlled. You've got 2 command dials, only one on the D5100. Things like ISO, white balance, quality, your bracketing, your autofocus modes are all done. Switches, command dials. There's a couple of function switches as well on the front which you can user define, which is nice. As you might have known from one of my other videos, I've just figured out how to get ISO onto the command dials when you're in aperture priority, shutter priority or P mode, which is really important for me. The other important thing when you're considering this is on the D7000 there is a proper connection point for a battery grip, and the battery grip that you get with it, it connects into there, it has a pin location and also obviously screws in, so it's nice and tight on the body. All the functions work. absolutely fine. Because on the D5100 there is no connection point, the battery grip goes up into the battery to get your battery connection, and then you have a wire manually going in for your shutter control, which when you've got your lead plugged in, it then interferes with the screen, as does the mic input when you've got the screen plugged in, which is another issue. So and also the battery grip that I put on the D5100, when I had it on the 70-200, you can actually feel movement in the grip, which is just not acceptable from my point of view. You don't want something moving when you take it apart. It's just disconcerting. Yes, so those are the main reasons. Obviously, the big plus on the D5100 is its articulated screen for video. That is, it is a really big plus. However, I actually prefer the fixed screen. It comes with the cover on the D7000, so no issues there. So, for the price difference, it's a case of, well, if you can afford the D7000, get the D7000, unless the screen is the deal breaker. If you can't afford the D7000, don't feel bad about the D5100, because it is, I found an absolutely awesome camera. I am looking to do a bit more sort of semi-professional stuff, which is why I'm going to get the grip for it. I'll do a review of that once I've got it. So the camera just looks a bit more chunky. But other than that, they're both absolutely fantastic cameras. I'd recommend either. I don't actually mind the 18-105 kit lens. I know it's a plastic mount at the back, but it's quite a light lens. But from results I've had so far, I can't really complain about the kit lens. My feelings, I think, on the 18-55 kit lens for the D5100. I mean, if you want to use it for video, that's fine. That's about all it's good for. And as I've said before, I'd go with this, the 18-70. Excuse me. Other than that, I can't really say anything else. If you can afford the D7000, go for it. If not, get the D5100. Perhaps save a bit of money over. Obviously, all the lenses are interchangeable. One more thing to note on the D7000, it has got the built-in motor drive for the lenses, so you can use the old 51.8 D lenses. You don't have to have the AFS lenses as you do the D5100. So if you've got a selection of older AFD lenses, then you might be better off waiting and getting the D7000, because that has got the drive to autofocus them, whereas the D5100 you'd only have manual focus. I think that's about it for now. Next review I'll do will be on the grip for the D7000. I apologise if the sound's not great today. I have no mic input on my Lumix FZ38, which I'm using to video, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.